Yeah. Let's get this shit popping though real quick. See what we got.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Shit. Uh-oh, it's about to start, I think. Soon? Oh, here we go. Sheesh. Alright. Oh, no, it's not about to start soon. Because nobody's in here but me. Alright, well then there's that too.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Alright, so it requires 16 people to play. So. Alright, let's see if we can wait for a second, you know? Let's see if we have patience today. While I do some other stuff in the background. Alright, here we go.
And I want to backtrack to a comment you made earlier about the casting couch. So that's true? Like, because I always heard this rumor that she slept her way to the top. That's true?
She did. She's a hoe.
She did.
Old hoe. She's 60 years
She a
old.
hoe. A old hoe.
Look, if you want to find out about it, go online to the LA Times.
Hold on, man.
And I
He
want to
funny.
backtrack to a comment you made
Judge
earlier.
Joe Brown.
And I want to backtrack to a comment you made earlier about the casting couch. So that's true? Like, because I always heard this rumor that she slept her way to the top. That's true?
She did. She's a hoe. Old hoe. She's 60 years old.
She a old hoe.
Look, if you want to find out about it, go online to the LA Times morgue. They used to have it so for a fee you could get them to pull articles. They've been reporting on her for 30-some years. She's in her 20s, and Willie Brown took her up as his mistress. There
Willie
was
Brown.
a medical firm that dealt with San Francisco. He got her a 15-hour-a-week part-time job there, which she never showed up to, according to the Times, but they paid her $72,000 a year for 15 hours a week. And understand she's in her 20s, which is 30-some years ago. That's big money now. So he got her promoted up so she did 20 hours a week. Times reported she never showed up, but she got 120 grand a year.
Damn.
So he bought her a 750i BMW, which was the top of the line at the time. So he set her up with all of the connections to get her into politics. The Times did a thing about this thing she had allegedly with an NBA player to get a job with a big law firm, and then a thing they did on her with the assistant director for the district attorney's office to get on with them, and then Montel Williams, and then back to Willie Brown, and then the rest of the whole thing, and she winds up with a Hollywood lawyer type not long before she runs for senator. So, and she adopts his children. She doesn't have any of her own, not saying it's a requirement, but it sure as hell helps, because I think the only two presidents of significance that didn't have children officially, George Washington and Andrew Jackson. And Andrew Jackson was a homicidal maniac. George Washington had enough by the slaves before he got sterile by disease. And the other three out of the five known ones, they weren't too good. They were has-been, never was type. So I say that. I know what I thought when I was a young man. Such things didn't make differences, but then I'd never had to be a parent. You never had to get up sick and go to work when you didn't feel like it, because you had the bills to pay. You never had to be reliable when you had other things to do. And having this legacy that you have to pass on, and not wanting to do anything that shames your grandchildren, because they do in fact exist and it's not hypothetical, that gives you a different perspective. So it's not an absolute requirement, but I think you really don't know how to have the dedication to the job if you have nothing to survive you. No immediate cause. Not saying that somebody can't be a good president without, but it's just what's your stake in it. Do you want to leave a better America for your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, or is there nobody out there that you have an immediate selfish interest in?
Yeah, and she used to date Montel Williams, right?
Yeah, Willie Brown's too.
Say yeah.
She showed up here at a mayor's conference in Memphis some years ago. I spoke at the damn thing. She showed up here. She was with Willie Brown. She got mad at her sister, this black judge here, because she just went over to speak with him. She jumped up, don't even look at him, leaving her alone. The judge told her, ain't my type, don't worry about it.
Ain't my type, don't worry about it.
So. And I know, I mean, allegations, I wasn't there, but I've had at least two women that I've known who are married women, and they tell me essentially they almost slapped their husbands back when they were at Howard at a certain frat where somebody did a lot of second floor action, and they were angling on getting some, and it wasn't gonna happen. You know, so you get this. Like I said, I'm not holding it against somebody because they did it for recreation, but, you know, when you do the casting couch thing, that's a bad move. I know some women in Hollywood that did the casting couch and those who refused. The ones who got refused went further than the ones who did. The ones who did ramped up real quickly, but then they're a piece of ass. Everybody knows it, so they get passed around. And then, did it really have talent, or was it just they jump-started their careers and then the lack of talent shows? Or did you have talent and do it the hard way? See, I mean, I hate to say it, but now,
he's like, but I just said it.
The other thing is I don't see any case law she made as an attorney or running the district attorney's office in a large city. I don't see in private practice pro bono when she, early years before she got into prosecuting, that made a difference.
At least
I
got
don't see
one.
any innovation in law that she's responsible for. I don't see any reform of criminal justice that she could have done a whole lot about. I don't see any of that. So what did she do? I just see a long laundry list, page after page of wrong. So I'm not one of these people that is a fan of promoting somebody upstairs.
Yeah, that's real talk. And that's crazy, man. Because I never heard that story before. So she tried to check a female because she thought she was trying to talk to her husband.
Yeah, I mean, and the woman was a judge she was talking to. I was there when that happened. It's like, dude, damn, who is that? I didn't know who she was, you know, but...
Do you think she like black men?
No, I don't think she does. No, she doesn't. I mean, look at it. Most of these women that she locked up for the truancy problems were black women. Damn near everybody she was getting these horribly stiff sentences to as recommendations. They were young black men. What wound up happening, all of these people she withheld information on that could have exculpated them so they wouldn't have been found guilty, they were black men. She was particularly harsh in the way black men got treated when they came through the system that she had prosecutorial preeminence in. You see, she set up no programs to come up with work alternatives. She set up no programs to deal with rehabilitation. She set up no programs to deal with counseling. She set up no programs to offer alternatives to criminality. She just came down hard, and it's like, what did you get from her? You must have had a white client. Yeah, I did. What do your black clients get? Not the same thing as the white ones. And you had enough black attorneys who had white clients to know the difference.
Judge. He on her head. About to die, low-key. Damn. Fuck, where are you guys at? They must be above me. Oh shit. Of course, behind me.
I need help.
Let's see if I can get the revive.
We are moving to seize Alpha 2. Ready to deliver supply. Target down.
Captured objective Alpha 1.
Fuck. Got mine. No, did he?
Trying to seize one of our objectives.
Requesting a ranger drone.
We first have our resources. Southeast! Gonna need a ranger at this location. Down one of them.
God damn, another vehicle.
Someone, go! Get over here and help me, please!
My dog got a headshot.
We have begun our attack on Alpha 2. Hostile mark, 70 meters from my position.
Our troops have lost an objective. They have control of Alpha 1.
Acknowledged. Vehicle en route.
We are moving to attack Alpha 1.
Man down, friendly down. Marking hostile south.
Alpha 2 has been secured by
Send a
hostile
ranger
forces.
at this location. Grenade out, take cover. Gotcha. Lock down Alpha 2.
Damn, I reloaded too soon. That motherfucker pull out the rocket launcher.
Somebody, help! Our troops are advancing. Spotted! Cover me! I'm reloading! An objective is under attack.
Oh shit. That motherfucker gunned me down.
Get over here! The enemy defenses in this sector are holding. Our assault is about to fail. Target down! Grenade out! We just lost an objective. Objective captured and secure. Enemy forces have seized Alpha 2. Requesting a ranger drop at this location. I got this. Come pick me up, bud.
That shit's crazy. Motherfucker vehicle. I ain't got nothing to kill the vehicles. Hold on. Let me see.
Smash those defenses now. Can't take many more losses.
Damn, I ain't even see that motherfucker. He got a good ass spot. I think we getting cooked by AIs too.
Take control
The
of the
enemy has
north
taken objective Alpha 2.
Need a ranger dropped at the marker. Incoming fire.
Attack on Alpha 2 is underway.
In the back. That's crazy, bro. In the fucking back. We didn't make no headroom in that match. That's crazy. We couldn't even cap neither one of those. Ah, tough game.
We have nothing left to throw at them. Our plan has failed. All troops evacuate.
Here is the thing about nuclear bombs. There is no good place to set one off. They are generally bad news in all scenarios. But there are a few instances where detonating a nuclear bomb is just a particularly terrible idea. One of those locations being outer space, which may come as a surprise. Space is far away, and it's basically empty, right? What's
Allegedly.
the worst that could happen?
Looks like
The
the
United
wait's over.
States military has a short but eventful history with nuking space. It's a strategy that was experimented with in the early days of the space race and the height of Cold War tensions with the Soviet Union from the
Nuking
late
space?
1950s to early 60s. In theory, there were potential advantages to exploding a nuclear bomb high above the Earth, both from a defensive and offensive point of view. As a defensive strategy, nuking space could work to shield the United States from a Soviet intercontinental
EMP.
ballistic missile attack. The idea being that when you explode a nuclear bomb, you create an electromagnetic pulse and a field of highly charged electrons. This is deadly to
The
electronic
ionosphere,
devices, such
or the
as the
firmament.
guidance system inside a long-range nuclear missile. You see, intercontinental ballistic missiles don't fly across the ocean like airplanes, they fly like rockets, blasting up through the atmosphere and crossing over into outer space before falling back down to acquire their final target. If they were to make their way back down through a shield of electromagnetic interference, it could damage or disable the missile's electronics. There's also an offensive strategy for nuking space. In the late 1950s, scientists confirmed that the Earth has a powerful magnetic field. It originates from the planet's core, where we have a solid ball of iron at the inner core, surrounded by a layer of free-flowing liquid metal in the outer core. The movement of that outer core acts like a gigantic electrical generator that powers the Earth's magnetic field, which extends out from the core and reaches far into space. This effect manifests itself as a series of circular magnetic field lines that flow from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. These form into concentric layers of magnetic field that encapsulate the Earth from the surface to hundreds of miles into deep space, like a gigantic magnetic space onion with a planet in the middle. The outer layers of this magnetic onion can trap highly charged radioactive particles from the sun and hold them out there in deep space, preventing them from reaching us down here on the surface. This is one of the key reasons that there is life on Earth. So, thanks, magnets. And we can see this effect for ourselves when some of those charged particles are drawn down along the magnetic field lines and into the sky above the North Pole, aka the Northern Lights. Detonating a thermonuclear bomb is a lot like instantly creating a miniature sun, and if you were to do that inside the Earth's magnetic field, then you should get a similar result to what happens with the real sun. The highly charged radioactive particles will be trapped and drawn out along the magnetic field lines. But while the outer layers will direct their trapped particles over the North Pole, the lower-lying inner layers will dump their contained electromagnetic chaos into a lower latitude, such as the Soviet Union. Okay, that was a long explanation, but it's important to know all of that if we are going to understand why anyone would ever want to nuke space. It's not so much about the explosion itself, but the electromagnetic fallout it creates and how that interacts with the magnetism of the Earth. So theoretically, a thermonuclear explosion strategically positioned over the Indian Ocean would release an EMP that would be caught up in a magnetic loop and deposited on top of the Soviet missile defense system, rendering their electronics useless and neutralizing their ability to detect and defend against a long-range nuclear strike. Of course, the only way to prove these theories was to set off a high-altitude nuclear bomb and see what happens. Remember, this was the late 1950s, and conducting live above-ground tests of immensely powerful nuclear weapons was the style at the time. Alright, I've got something for the military history buffs out there. This is War Thunder, the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and it's available now for free on both PC and consoles. Take command.
No advertisements for games, bro. Damn, I got my shit blowed up. I was doing good for a second though. No cap for real.
They are attacking Alpha 1.
Damn, bro. Got my shit cooked, literally.
Spotted a hostile fire team. They forced us off Alpha 1.
US forces have taken this sector. Fall back and regroup in the next.
Hostile armor, 110 meters.
I went out too far. Got my shit bodied. Oh. Can't see shit.
Regroup here. Guard your new objectives.
Laser drone needed on this front. Marking enemy tank. Breaking monsters. Enemy tank.
Damn! They fucking pulled up on me.
Hostiles invading one of our objectives.
I took them. EMT on. Throwing grenade.
An objective is under siege.
Need to reload.
Support package ready to drop. Control Bravo 1 for just more. The hostiles moving on Bravo 2.
Calling for a range control. Aim at position.
An objective has come under our control.
Need ammunition.
Bravo 2
I'm going
is
to
under
need ammo.
medical attack.
I need supplies. Tango, 60 meters forward.
Damn, fucking sniper.
Bravo 1 is no longer secure. An objective to the enemy.
Available support drop ready.
Damn, bro. Fucking tank, bro.
We are initiating an attack on Bravo 1.
I spawned and got killed right away. That's crazy. They are all just chilling in the middle. It's crazy. That's what it looked like when the AI gets a hold of the
In
gang.
August 1958, the US military conducted a series of 35 nuclear weapons tests under Operation Hardtack. These took place in locations the government refers to as the Pacific Proving Grounds, which is a collection of tiny islands in the central Pacific Ocean that are so small most of the world wouldn't even know they exist. You have to zoom in 10 times on Google Maps just to see them clearly. Of these experimental nuclear explosions, 3 of them would be high-altitude tests. The first, codenamed Yucca, would strap a 1.7 kiloton nuke to a hot air balloon and float it off into the upper atmosphere. Now, that sounds sketchy, and it was, but in fairness to the Army, they did spend 2 years practicing for this and deployed 76 test balloons before eventually letting one float away with a nuclear bomb. Yucca was deployed from a U.S. aircraft carrier off the coast of Bikini Atoll on April 28th. The balloon was released at 11:25 a.m. It reached the target altitude of 85,000 feet by 12:50,
Wow.
and at 2:40 in the afternoon, the relatively small nuclear bomb was detonated. The importance of this test was to measure the strength of the electromagnetic pulse created by the explosion. Scientists had theorized that a high-altitude EMP would carry more intensity than a ground-based explosion, but they didn't know how much. Measurements from the Yucca confirmed that a high-altitude EMP can be more than 1,000 times more intense than the
Damn,
same
1,000
explosion
times?
at low altitude. Now, as scary as that information might be, it was exactly the result that the military was looking for, so they pressed on. The next test, codenamed Teak, would replace the balloon with a Redstone missile and take the explosive yield up to 3.8 megatons. The location was moved to the government's most remote outpost, Johnston Atoll. It's west of Hawaii and about as close to the exact middle of nowhere as you can get. Teak was launched at 11:47 p.m. on July 31st. The warhead detonated at an altitude of 76 kilometers or 43 miles. That's not technically space, but it's pretty damn high. Unfortunately, the missile's guidance system wasn't programmed correctly, so instead of heading downrange over the ocean, Teak exploded directly above Johnston Island, creating a miniature sun within the Earth's atmosphere that was visible from 800 miles away at Hawaii and lingered in the sky for almost half an hour. The thermal radiation was strong enough to give the servicemen on Johnston sunburns. It also knocked out high-frequency communications across the Pacific for 8 hours after the detonation. Again, a pretty frightening effect from a relatively small bomb that really started to demonstrate the power of nuking space. So just for good measure, the US tried this one more time, codenamed Orange, on August 11th. This was another 3.8 megaton bomb on a Redstone missile. The difference was that Orange exploded at an altitude of 43 kilometers or 27 miles. The result was considerably less spectacular than Teak. The explosion was only visible in the sky for about 5 minutes and did not cause the same communications breakdown. So, now we know that higher altitudes do have a significant effect on the fallout from a nuclear explosion. What comes next? It would take a few more years of planning before the US Army was truly prepared to nuke space, but the time would finally come with Operation Fishbowl in 1962, same year as the Cuban Missile Crisis that almost ended human civilization as we know it. Probably just a coincidence, though. Anyway, this was about more than just a Cold War arms race pissing contest. Fishbowl was a joint effort between the military, the Atomic Energy Commission, and the Defense Atomic Support Agency.
I missed.
This was about continued investigation of the potential for high-altitude EMP, the interaction between radiation from the blast and the Earth's magnetic field lines, plus the effect of all this on radio communication. The Fishbowl tests were monitored by a large number of surface and aircraft-based stations in the wide area around the planned detonations and also in the southern hemisphere region of the Samoan Islands, which was known in these tests as the Southern Conjugate. The idea being that fallout from an explosion over Johnston Island in the northern hemisphere would get caught up in a magnetic field line connecting to Samoa in the southern hemisphere.
They was cooking our shit just now. God damn, bro. They was fucking just moving. Vehicle kills. That's the way to go, huh? Come on, man.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I was on my shit though, but I wasn't like killing like crazy. I slowed up halfway through though.
When do we start?
I don't even know what all these motherfucking characters, like, special abilities do anymore. I can't remember.
It's time.
We have assigned your contract to assist members of the Thousand Petals Coalition in Chile. The Americans have created a wide border around the local aquifer, monopolizing the water in the region. They're also mining Chilean lithium for their own benefit. We must stop this. Collapse their defense sector by sector and secure the aquifer with the TPC before Western reinforcements arrive.
At one of our objectives.
Protect your objectives and hold your ground as long as possible. They will try to push us back.
That's pretty cool. I never seen that before. It's a little circle that notifies me underneath when somebody's coming around the corner. But I keep getting killed though. It doesn't matter. Man, I've been playing this shit all year. Didn't even know about none of these passive abilities, bro. I was just reading them just now.
Control of Alpha 2 lost.
Position! Take the casualties!
Alpha 2 has been seized by the enemy.
You can't hold them any longer. Fall back and mount your defense in the next sector.
Got one! Tango, southwest!
They'll try to secure this sector next. Guard your objectives at all costs.
Grenade! Watch out! I need a ranger dropped here, ASAP! Target down! Get me ammunition! I need supplies! Adjusting ammo. Reloading. Keep me covered.
Damn, my motherfucking tank got me quick, bro. As soon as I pop my head up. Battlefield.
Assessing threats.
We have a breach at one of our objectives. Bravo 2 is under American attack. Bravo 1 is no longer secure.
We deliver a support package on your request.
Damn, I saw him too late, too. Shooting for the room too far.
We have occupied an objective.
Grenade out.
Enemies attacking Bravo 2. Objective lost. We'll need to recapture it. You're moving off the map. Turn around.
Bravo 1 taken by hostile.
US forces holding together. Running resources.
Bravo 1 attacked by our forces.
Damn, bro. They finally got me. Motherfuckers. I kind of like that drone. Gives me a second to chill.
next one.
Dang, he had that extra ammo.
Clear out this sector. We have nowhere to go. Make your stand!
One of our objectives has been targeted.
We have lost Charlie 1.
That's crazy, bro. I don't know how to cancel out of it though sometimes. Well, that time I didn't know how to cancel out of it. But I like it though. I wish somebody else would do it for me.
Requesting a ranger. Coordinates sent.
We've taken control of objective.
Job to do.
There's nowhere left.
Damn, we lost.
We have failed.
GG's in the chat.
Hemisphere, which would
My bad. Let's finish watching that shit real quick though. Actually,
create an aurora linking the two island regions. Looking through the actual results of Operation Fishbowl, they were pretty hit and miss on accomplishing their objectives. It's actually kind of shocking just how often they botched some of these nuclear tests. We're truly all lucky to be alive for high-altitude EMP crisis that almost 3 kilometers or that really started to detonate at Hawaii and lingered in the sky for almost half an hour. The thermal radiation was strong enough to give the servicemen on Johnston sunburns. It also knocked out high-frequency communications across the Pacific for 8 hours after the detonation. Again, a pretty frightening effect from a relatively small bomb that really started to demonstrate the power of nuking space. So just for good measure, the US tried this one more time, codename Orange, on August 11th. This was another 3.8 megaton bomb on a Redstone missile. The difference was that Orange exploded at an altitude of 43 kilometers or 27 miles. The result was considerably less spectacular than Teak. The explosion was only visible in the sky for about 5 minutes and did not cause the same communications breakdown. So now we know that higher altitudes do have a significant effect on the fallout from a nuclear explosion. What comes next? It would take a few more years of planning before the US Army was truly prepared to nuke space, but the time would finally come with Operation Fishbowl in 1962,
Fishbowl.
same year as the Cuban Missile Crisis
1962.
that almost ended human civilization as we know it. Probably just a coincidence, though. Anyway, this was about more than just a Cold War arms race pissing contest. Fishbowl was a joint effort between the military, the Atomic Energy Commission, and the Defense Atomic Support Agency. This was about continued investigation of the potential for high-altitude EMP, the interaction between radiation from the blast and the Earth's magnetic field lines, plus the effect of all this on radio communication. The fishbowl tests were monitored by a large number of surface and aircraft-based stations in the wide area around the planned detonations and also in the southern hemisphere region of the Samoan Islands, which was known in these tests as the Southern Conjugate. The idea being that fallout from an explosion over Johnston Island in the northern hemisphere would get caught up in a magnetic field line connecting to Samoa in the southern hemisphere, which would create an aurora linking the two island regions. Looking through the actual results of Operation Fishbowl, they were pretty hit and miss on accomplishing their objectives. It's actually kind of shocking just how often they botched some of these nuclear tests. We're truly all lucky to be alive. Anyway, the first planned test was codenamed Bluegill. This was June 2nd, 1962, and the warhead was launched from Johnston Island on a Thor rocket just after midnight. The missile was promptly lost on radar tracking, so they knew that they had just launched a nuclear weapon into space, but they didn't know where exactly it was. Luckily, the flight termination system was still connected and the missile was destroyed. That doesn't mean that the bomb went off. It was still in safe mode and the debris just fell into the ocean. Attempt number 2 was codenamed Starfish. This was a couple of weeks later on June 19th.
Starfish.
Another Thor missile launched from Johnston. This one flew for 59 seconds before the rocket engine failed, and the missile broke apart at around 30,000 feet, raining down plutonium-contaminated debris onto the island and surrounding water. Undeterred, the military pressed on with Starfish Prime on July 9th. This time, the Thor missile would carry its 1.4 megaton thermonuclear payload all the way to an altitude of 250 miles or 400 kilometers above the Earth's surface, where it would successfully nuke space. This would go down as the largest nuclear weapons test ever conducted in outer space. The thing about a nuclear explosion in space is that it does not look anything like what we generally picture a nuclear explosion to look like. There is no mushroom cloud because there's no dirt to get pulled up into the air. There's no fire because there's no oxygen to combust. But there is still an intensely bright light. It grows outwards from the detonation in a round spherical shape until it starts to gradually feather off at the edges into these short curly tendrils. It's like some type of sea creature or a cactus. It's kind of beautiful until you remember the terrible consequences of what you're looking at. The EMP generated by Starfish Prime was significantly more powerful than the scientists involved had been expecting. So much so that it overwhelmed most of their instruments and drove them off the scale, making it nearly impossible to get an accurate measurement. All we know is that it was higher than the maximum number the tool was able to measure. The EMP caused electrical damage on the Hawaiian Islands, 900 miles or 1,400 kilometers away from Johnston. It knocked out streetlights, triggered burglar alarms, and damaged telephone communications. After the Starfish Prime detonation, bright auroras were observed in the detonation area, as well as in the Southern Conjugate region at the Samoan Islands. A very large area of the Pacific was illuminated by the auroral phenomena from far south of the South Magnetic Conjugate area through the burst area.
It don't look like Battlefield is trying to give me a match, but we're gonna wait patiently. I'll get one, I promise. Cause I don't even know what to do at this point. What am I supposed to do? Can I press a button? Battlefield still realistic. More realistic than these other fucking shooting games right now. These other fucking shooting games is crazy. We're gonna chill for a second. I can't get a game. Shit crazy. This is the problem with Battlefield, though. It's not a lot of players. There's nothing we can do.